Create shape shadows all around the room with this mobile. I made this one using a birthday design, but you could make it in other colors for other holidays, or you could use this one for the 4th of July even. So let me show you what you need to get started making the middle part, the dangly parts that hang down. I'm using some mini foam shapes in birthday theme, and chenille stems, and glitter glue, and some tempera paint pens, and a hole punch, and you'll need a paintbrush, and I also covered my work surface so that I don't get paint and glue on the table. So the way that you'll get started is take one of your shapes and one of your pens, and you'll want to make a thick line all the way around the outside. And one little tip for this is to rest your arm on the table so that you can do it all in one continuous motion. So you just go all the way around that outline. And this is just to provide some definition for your shapes. And then this just takes a few minutes to dry, but I'm going to set this one aside and let it dry. Then this one, I'm going to do some glitter glue, and you can do different colors. Of course, there are so many different choices. You squeeze some glitter onto the shape, and it doesn't matter what kind of pattern you use there, of course, because we're going to use a paintbrush to just spread it around. And you'll want to do this on each of your shapes. You can do it on the front and let it dry, and then do it on the back too, because of course when you have a mobile, it's going to spin around a little bit and you'll be able to see both sides. So we'll just spread this around a little bit more. You could also create some raised areas with the glitter glue if you wanted to. You could add another color. You could leave it in a thick outline like this around the edge. That would be pretty too. So there are lots of different ways that you can do it. Like that. And I'll just set this one aside and let it dry. And then, of course, you want to punch a hole in the top because this is going to be hanging on your mobile. So you just use a hole punch and poke it right at the center there. Yeah, and you can see that I have both sides of my balloon painted and glittered. Then loop your chenille stem through the hole, and then you just fold this tail around the long part, and then it's going to be nice and secure like that. And just poke the ends in so it doesn't hang out a little bit. And then wrap it around the end of your paintbrush to make a coil like that, and then you have your dangle. Now when we're ready to attach this to the top, the wreath part, then you'll bend this in and poke it into the styrofoam. So for the wreath part, what you'll need is a styrofoam wreath shape and some adhesive craft foam. And if you don't have adhesive craft foam, you could use ribbon or paper or fabric or something else just to cover the edge of your wreath. I also use some stars that are pre-cut. Same thing here, you could use anything, stickers, or you could glue on shapes that you cut out yourself. Also have some decorative tape, and you'll want some ribbon and glue, pinking shears, and regular scissors. So we're going to cover the edge of the wreath, and I'll show you how you can measure that. Just turn your adhesive foam upside down and use a pencil to mark the outside along the edge here, and then cut it out with your scissors. So I have two that I already cut out, and I'll show you what to do next. You peel off the backing, and then you can make some ribbon dangles. And you don't have to measure these out, but they're about 12 inches long. But varying lengths are good. And I use some different kinds of ribbon, some thin and thick, and in all the different colors that you are using. I used red, white, and blue, and yellow. So I just alternate the types of ribbon across and cut it off with the pinking shears because that gives it a little bit of a decorative edge. And you don't have to follow a particular pattern, just as long as you're alternating those skinny ribbons and the wide ribbons. So we'll lay these across here and add some more color and use your scissors. And then I'll add a blue one here. And then we're going to put it onto the wreath and then we'll wrap the whole wreath with tape. So we have that. Here's one that I already started adding the foam around the edges with the ribbon. And go ahead and place it on the edge. And then you'll see that my adhesive foam didn't wrap all the way around the wreath, so I'll just cut a little piece. And to measure that, you can just hold it up and snip it with your scissors like that. And then we'll stick that one on with a piece of ribbon too. And then we're ready to decorate the outside with stars and tape. Now the decorative tape is going also to help this foam stay onto your wreath. So take this, cover the end here, and wrap it all the way around. Okay. We'll wrap it all the way around the edges of the wreath until we get back to the beginning. And then we'll hold it in place with our stars. Just trim that off. And you can alternate colors of stars too, and use that to hold your tape and your foam in place. And these stars will go all the way around the outside like that, and we're just placing them evenly spaced all the way around. Now, to create your hanger, what you need to do is poke the end of your paintbrush down into the top of the wreath. And really work this around here and make a pretty good size indentation here, and do it on the other side too. Okay, then you're going to cut a chenille stem. This is a giant chenille stem. You're going to cut this in half and glue it into the hole. So just twist this at the top and then attach your craft glue to place it into each side of the wreath, like this. And of course I would glue both sides. And if you want to take a look at the finished one, I'll show you how the yellow dangles are suspended from the inside. They're poked right into the top here. So you just glue them into place. And then you're ready to make some shadows at your next party.